Right, so I think I'm going to start with the brickwork, which I would go for a burnt sienna. So that's a sort of reddish brown colour. Move it over a bit. So we don't want it too strong, because this is, we want quite a delicate sort of look. So you always test your colour on the edge of your paper. So that one looks okay. So I'm literally just going to put a wash of colour onto here. So I'm using about a 6 or 8 brush. Nothing too big, we don't want to get loads of water onto here. Got one. So put that flatter. So we're just putting a wash of burnt sienna on the brickwork. So just onto the dry paper. And actually, because the brickwork's a little bit sort of slightly different shades, I will take a little bit of something like a burnt umber, sepia, something like that. Or sometimes there's colours you've got on your palette that you can use, and I'll just drop a few little bits in while it's wet, so those will just merge a little bit under the eaves as well. You're not getting shit. I love seeing that.
Sometimes when you go to all it shouldn't be that difficult. No, it shouldn't be that difficult.
Anybody else? The hook is normally on the back, so you put your thumb through it. Be able to open it in the pantry. Yeah, I've been found in my job. Could do with a little bit of the burnt sienna just in the alleyway up here. We can see a bit of brickwork. I'll just put it all the way in, and then we can darken it down. So we need a green colour for the shop woodwork. So we've now got to try and mix one, or if you've got greens in your set. It's quite a yellowy green, so I might take a bit of sap. Need a bit of place on my palette, it's a bit dirty, and I'm going to add a bit of yellow to it. I'm going to have to clean my palette because I'm picking up. Well, yours is mainly going to be burnt sienna, isn't it, Dan? So let's pick up some green. Bit of yellow. It's too yellowy.
Sorry, what was the question?
It's not too bad. So it's a bit of yellow, a bit of sap green, and I've put a little bit of what's just called green in my palette. Put a wash of that where the green missed a line there. Look. Put that on here. And now we've got, say, all the lines done on it. It's just a case of adding the colour and then adding the shadow onto these. So sort of just put in a block colour first of all. Put green here as well. No. Try not to drop your paintbrush. Fortunately it didn't land in the middle of the painting. Notices on this shop. So you could use a little bit of water soluble pencil if you wanted. It looks yellow up there. It doesn't look so yellow on my picture. I think it's just getting a little bit of the colour balance is a little bit off on this screen. You get one colour looking right and then everything else looks wrong. So this is quite a bright picture on here, so I'll add a bit of orange. I don't know what these are, so we'll just suggest some colours into there. You right, Carol?
Yeah.
Good.
If anybody sees me with my glasses on top of my head, just remind me to put them on my eyes because it helps.
Don't have that problem anymore, you see. So we've got some bits of pink in the window, so I'm not going to try and paint whatever they are because I don't know what they are, but we'll just put some bits of colour in. We've got some bits of blue. Blue to the window, and then we'll go over with dark, so we'll put that where that blind or reflection is coming in. So we've got like blue at the top, so flat brush just helps with square edges. And then we'll darken this down once it's dry. nice dark Payne's grey. We can put these dark windows in the doorway. If you're trying to paint around these signs, you might need to get a finer brush. Use that Payne's grey again. Payne's grey is a useful colour. We can mix greys as well if we want, but we want something quite uniform. So it's easier in that sense to just take it out the tube off your pan. The difficult thing is we've got to paint around our letters, so I will need a finer brush for this. So they're golden, aren't they, against the green background. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, paint the letters. So I'm going to use yellow ochre. Just paint where those letters are, and then we shall let that dry and then try and paint around. It's a bit more yellow, the one above it. Let that dry and then we'll try and paint around it with that sort of iridium colour. Some more blocks of colour into the window. Can be quite random. I could do a bit of colour onto the one next door, which is quite a sort of pinky red, isn't it, that one? A bit of magenta, so a little bit of pink to it. And just fade that off so it disappears. using about 1/8 of an inch brush for some of the smaller blocks, so it's quite a strong mix, and sometimes it's easier to turn your picture upside down and make that a bit darker underneath there. Flip it round and we'll get a straighter edge at the top as well. Beam here, which we can paint in. You get a bit carried away, don't you? I'm just going to put a bit of blue. It's a bit too strong. Where it's white, just a little bit of a blue shading on this side of the building. It's just here. Just a very pale mix. Put a bit of shadow onto there in a minute. This window here is very dark, so again makes up a nice dark mix of the Payne's grey. We've got a little bit of white flowers or something in the corners. Darken down in these.
Just paint next week. Paint it next week.
Use a bit of water soluble pencil crayon in some of these areas. We want to have even more control over it. We'll start just blocking in some of these dark areas, leaving some shapes to suggest the products that are in there. If you've got a nice brush, you should be able to get quite a good point on it as well. Payne's Grey. Have you got that in your mix? Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not as strong as black.
Just looks like that.
Does it look poor? It's got, has got touches of blue in it. That's what makes it quite a nice colour for shadows.
My favourite colour, pink, I think. Everything seems to be improved with a bit of Payne's Grey.
Of course, we often do mix it using where you can use ultramarine and burnt sienna, or viridian and alizarin crimson. I think we'll leave it there and then we'll come back next week and we'll just do a few. We need to do the green around the lettering and the black around the lettering up there. Just fill in so we don't have any white spaces. We might add a few more coloury bits. Some shadow onto this, well, the doorway, bit of shadow cast from the sign as well. Shadow in the alleyway or jitty, and we might perhaps do a little bit of blue sky just at the top there, and a bit of colour on the pavement. So just building it up. As I say, you can use a bit of coloured pencil if you wanted, water soluble, so you can lift the colour. Sometimes if you want lots of little bits of colour, you can lift it off your pencil and add it with a small brush, or just put it on and then add a touch of water. So